Welcome to Talking Handles, Derek Ciapola with my co-host, my partners in crime, Jared Timms, Nate Green. This is our first podcast since we did our first playback. If you joined us for playback in Game One of the series, which was highly disappointing with the Nationals, we had fun with you though. If you were there, thanks for listening with us and watching the game with us, and we're gonna do it again soon. I'm presuming pretty soon because it was
Yeah,
fun. But how you doing, Jared?
doing as good as can be.
Good as you can be. Nate,
yeah, it's good. I'm sure we'll get at least one or two more before the All-Star break and draft. So it was definitely fun. Thank you guys for all coming out and all the questions and stuff. It was definitely fun day.
I was wondering if we should do one for the Brave series.
I was
I
looking,
was
I was
wondering
like
that.
Braves or Blue Jays, and then probably do maybe one the next week, like the last series before the break, which would be Arizona at home, and
So
then we have the draft
stay
that
tuned. We'll figure it
that we're
out, but
expecting to do it for, right, Jared?
definitely going to do it again. Definitely going to do it again. All right. So before we move on, before we get into the conversation, here's a word for our sponsors. See you in a few. All right, here we go. Angels dropped 2 out of 3 to Washington. We talked about this last show, guys, when we were making our predictions. It is a hard series to predict because on one hand, you're thinking, oh, great, they can go over 500. And then you're like, oh, wait, oh, they might go over 500, which typically when that happens, they don't go over 500. They lose the series. That's exactly what they did. Nate, real quick in review, these 3 games, what'd you see? What'd you like? What didn't you like?
Very, very sloppy. Very, very sloppy defense. Didn't love the way that they played the game, honestly. Soriano wasn't able to continue what he was doing. Um, their starting pitching is killing this bullpen. It really is. Like this bullpen is just getting absolutely massacred because they have to come in the third, fourth inning every single time out except for Kikuchi's start. So we need more guys to be able to go deeper into games because this is getting ridiculous. Like it's out of hand, honestly. Um, Good thing Adele continues to stay hot. I think that's always the good thing with some of these young guys. Like everyone was ready to cut him or trade him or whatever, and he's got a chance to win Player of the Month. I don't think he wins it just because there were some other guys like Byron Buxton and guys like that who had equally as good of a month. But I mean, good to see Adele continue to stay hot offensively.
Jared, same thing.
Yeah, disappointing series for sure. You look at the positives though. Kikuchi pitched well. You mentioned it already, Nate. Adele looked good. Hitting wasn't too bad in the series. They averaged a lot of runs. Would have been nice to see the pitching, especially in game one, come out with a shutdown inning or two. I think that was a big thing there for the Angels. But yeah, definitely sloppy. But try to take positives away from a series like this. It was one that you probably should have won. You look at it on paper, but again, that's why you don't play games on paper because if you did, you know, this wouldn't happen.
I mean, in fairness, there's a lot to like about what Washington's doing. They are developing a young core there, just like we are. They have some young pitching coming up, like just like we do. They have their issues, just like we do, and they're in a tough division as well. So it's hard to kind of decide where they are. But for me, it's disappointing for them not to go over the hump. That's what it just for a moment this late in the year, get over the hump. That's been a constant with the Angels over the last 10 years is when they get close to these moments, they tend to crumble. Like to see that change. On the flip side, I am continuing to be impressed by the core they have. They do they do seem to be developing into a group you can say, hey, in 2026 and beyond, we have something here. And that matters. I mean, we entered this year wondering what's there, what's not there, and there's still a lot of that, but it's becoming clear that the Angels have actually put together the core that Jared's talking about, or what has been talking about. The question is, can they develop further than that? And that's going to take time, but and how will the Angels perform in free agency and the draft in the next year or so? It doesn't have to be that long of a turnaround for this organization, but then again, we've been saying that for 3, 4 years. It doesn't have to be. But overall, I'm really liking the core. I've been saying the last couple episodes, they are gritty, and they are. They don't give up even when down 15-9. So there you go. Anybody want to dispute that or go negative Nate on me? No.
Nope.
No. Okay. Wow. All right. So I don't have a whole lot else to say of the series. It was disappointing pitching wise, like you were saying, Nate. I'm not sure how much we need to really dig deeper into it. It was just a rough series. You guys
The
ready?
other thing that was a little interesting too is you go into Sunday, Trout doesn't start on Sunday. A little bit interesting. I know he's DHing. Like, yeah, he has DH'd a lot. He's played. Everyone's gonna be like he hasn't played, but he's played a lot of games recently, which is good for him. But knowing that you have Monday off, you are at 500. You're playing a winnable game. You are running out there the worst starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, or top three worst starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. You know you're going to need some runs to win the game, and you don't start Trout like that. It's a little frustrating from a we're trying to win, we're trying to make the playoffs perspective. And I know Jared's going to sit here and be like, no one has ever said that they're trying to win. No one's ever said they're trying to make the playoffs, whatever, all that BS. But like, we're here, like we're in it right now. And I know the Angels have what is it, 13 straight games or something like that over the next 2 weeks before the All-Star break. But like, you have the off day Monday. There's really no need for this, and it was a winnable game. Like they weren't throwing. It wasn't like the Angels were facing Paul Skeens where it was like, oh boy, like they're not really going to score. We're throwing Jack Hanowitz out there. Like we can kind of put this thing away and just say, you know what, we're not going to win this one. Like they were facing like Michael Soroka, I think it was. No, it was Parker. Parker hasn't been good this year
On
either.
Sunday,
It's
Stroke
like
on Saturday.
it's like oh my gosh, like it almost felt like they were like, we're okay losing the series 2 out of 3. That was a little bit frustrating with this series. And just so many defensive miscues from this team. And I get that they're young, but like eventually they've got to start making the right plays. Like, I don't know how long that you can sit here and be like, they are a young baseball team. These are mistakes that maybe are made in high school. These mistakes are not made in college. These mistakes are not made at the professional level. So the mistakes that we're seeing are like it's tough. It really is. And I know we're gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's a young team and they're growing pains and things like that. But like at the end of the day, like you're a professional, you should know the game enough to make the right plays at the right times.
I don't think I'd say that at all, actually, Nate. I mean, I'm much more in agreement with you. Like at this point in time, these guys have been playing baseball their entire lives. You know how to make a defensive play. So that we can complain about Angels staffing in terms of, but at this point in your career, you know how to make a throw to second base or first base. You know where things are supposed to go, and that's a problem to me. Jared?
Yeah, I've said it a million times. Like, I don't care if the Angels lose baseball games. It's when they lose games by stupid plays. I don't like stupid baseball, and I totally get it. And it feels like the Angels have put out a couple of these lineups of late. And it feels like they've always kind of done this, and I'm sure other teams do it. But I think the Yankees series, the last one we talked about, where they go into Sunday looking to sweep, and they don't start, Neto, they don't start Ohapi, they don't start Sean. Well, I don't know if that was it or not, but they don't start, a lot of their best hitters, and all of a sudden it's like, man, you're going for a sweep here, and you need to, you should take advantage of that. And same thing, you're going to win a series, and you don't throw out your best lineup knowing, kind of what hasn't been great of late, and you're probably going to need some runs. So yeah, it's definitely tough sometimes to see it, but again, that's baseball. It's 162 games. It's a long year. If you can get back-to-back days off, that's totally fine. And you're going to need Trout in these next 14 games or 13 games, whatever it is, headed up to the break. You're playing good baseball teams here. Not that anything against Washington, but if he needs a day off, he gets a day off. It is what it is. So 162 games is a long game, but at the end of the day, yeah, I don't like stupid baseball. Stupid baseball sucks to me.
Did he really need a day off though? That's what your questioning, Nate, is you already have an off day on Monday.
And they had an off day on Thursday.
I
So
mean,
you can't play
I'm not I'm
three
not
days in a
gonna
row?
I'm not gonna question. I mean, the guy hasn't been on the field more than 60
And
than
that's a
this
problem.
year in the
And that's a
past
problem.
four years. So I mean, you're gonna want to give him an extra day off. I'm
I
fine.
understand what you're saying, but you're also paying the man to be on the field, not off the field. I mean, he's been off the field a
All I'm
lot,
s-
and
all
you're
I'm saying is
paying.
he's healthy, right? He's healthy right now. He's been off the field a
He's
lot
not
since the
healthy
break.
right now. He can't play
Um,
defense.
okay, so. And yeah,
Well,
if he's not
can he
healthy,
not?
then sure, give him another day off. That's fine.
Can he not play? Is he? Well, hold on. Let me clarify your thoughts. Are you saying he's not healthy because he's not playing defense, or are they trying to preserve his health by not having him play defense?
I
Which one
think
is
he's
it?
not healthy enough to play defense right now. And the off day shouldn't matter whether you're DHing or playing the outfield. You had an off day on Thursday and you get an off day on Monday. Like if you need that much of an off time, then like give back the $35 million you're making and say, you know what, I'm gonna go Kawhi Leonard and play a couple times a week and a couple times a month, whatever. I really only deserve like $10 million, $15 million because you're getting paid a lot of freaking money and you need to be on the field.
I've never heard you be this harsh on Mike Trout before.
It's getting ridiculous. Like, I mean, the guy, I love Mike Trout. Mike Trout is an unbelievable player, but like, you get paid to be on the field, not off the field. You need to be on the field as much as humanly possible, especially when you are the superstar. Like,
Mm,
it's frustrating.
but what if it's not him? What if it's not him making the call? What if it's Montgomery and the Angels staff making the call?
Then go into the coach's office and say, I want to play. Like,
With
if you want it that bad, go in. And that would come out. That would come out that Trout said, like, hey, I wanted to play today. The
Well, no,
staff,
this is the Angels we're talking about. They're not transparent at all.
I
Will
know,
it come
but
out?
when Otani was doing the same thing, saying, hey, I want to play today, I get that you think I need an off day. I don't need an off day. It came out. And Otani played that day. So, like, superstars pretty much get what they want. And if they want an off day, they get it. And if they want to play, they pretty much get to play. Obviously, there are, some exceptions to the rules, but like, you need to be out there. He needs to be out there.
Jared, any thoughts on it?
It's 162 games. This guy needs another break. Give him another break. Again, he hasn't been on the field for more than 50 games and since 2020. So, yeah, if they are preserving his health so he can stay on the field later, it's fine. I'd rather see him on the field in August, September, than not. So, yeah, it is what it is. I get what Nate's saying. It's totally fine. But at the end of the day, like it's a long season. You need breaks. It's a shrug. It's a shrug to me. They sure they're in a playoff chase, but are they really in a playoff chase? I mean,
They
we'll
are.
I
they
mean,
They
are.
were a win away and a Mariners loss away from being tied for the final wild card spot. And instead, they punt the game on Sunday. They lose, and the Mariners win, and now you're 2 games back.
They've been a win away from being at 500 or over 500 like 20 times this year. I mean, Mike Trout probably doesn't make a huge difference. I get it. It's fine.
You're saying Mike Trout doesn't make a difference in that game?
I'm sure he does.
against that pitching,
I'm sure he does. But again, I'd rather see him on the field in September, late July, August, September than us being like, well, Mike Trout's hurt again. Like,
And did he not just hit a home run the day before? Like we've been saying, like, oh, he's getting unlucky. His expected batting average is 276. He's hitting 230. Uh, just give it some time. He'll find some holes, things like that. He hits a homer the day before, and it's like, hey, congrats, great job, buddy. You're gonna sit today.
this isn't anything new though. Since he's come off the IL, he's batting 290 with a 140 WRC plus, man. Like
Exactly. So let the guy get in the lineup. You just said he wouldn't have made a difference. He makes a difference if he's in a lineup.
I'm saying you
100%.
I'm saying you wouldn't make a difference because I'm over this argument, man. Like this is a stupid argument you're having. Like at the end of the day, like
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
162
So
game
so
season.
then I don't mind that Anthony Rendon doesn't play this year because you know what? It's just money. We don't need it. And whether he was on the
Right.
field or not, it wouldn't have mattered because whatever. It's
I mean,
fine.
Jared, in fairness, you said a couple times it was fine that he had this argument. Now you're calling it stupid. Is it stupid to question when your superstar player who is been gone as much as been gone now has a chance to play and isn't on the field? You're talking about, well, I want him in August and September. I want him out there in August and September.
Mhm.
However, if
What if
but
August
it's
and
not gonna
September don't
let me finish.
matter?
Let me finish. It's not gonna matter in August and September if they're out of it by then.
It matters for me because again, like at the end of the day, and we'll talk about this here in a second because Angels are 500 right now. Angels are playing way above expectations right now. Mike Trout's
Sure.
healthy in July. Mike Trout is healthy right now, or I guess June 30th. July 1st is tomorrow. Mike Trout is healthy. I'd rather see him on the field and healthy right now, and in September when we get into next off season, we're like, well, I wonder what Mike Trout's going to do. It's like, well, he played the majority of the year. You can kind of trust him. So, and is that going to be because he took a day off in late June? I don't know. During a day game, I don't know. I really don't. But at the end of the day, like I'm looking forward to 2026. Like this is awesome that the Angels are 500 and they had a chance to get within one game of a wild card spot or tied for a wild card spot. That is fantastic. Like at the end of the day, the Angels need Mike Trout to be healthy in July right now when they are competing, not for this one random game. Like, yeah, he could have helped them win a game and get over 500, but again, what if he gets hurt in this game? And now we're in July during the dog days of summer. Don't say anything yet, Nate. While they're in the dog days of summer, playing the hardest part of their stretch, right? Like, I mean, it can be changed, it can be reversed, right? Like, what if the argument, we would never have known this? What if the argument was by Ray Montgomery, hey, Trout, we want you to take the day off today. And he says no, he goes out and gets hurt. And now he's out for the rest of the year, right? Like it's the same argument. Like, yeah, they could have won that game, but at what cost, right? I mean, so again, I get the argument. I do. It's kind of a ridiculous argument that we're having that we're saying like, oh, Mike Trout should be on the field as much as he can when realistically he's been hurt for 75% of the games over the past 4 years. Like, I want him to be healthy in July, August, and September. Not so if he needs a day off, that's fine. It is what it is. You lose a game because he took a day off. I'd rather him play against these really good teams coming up rather than, in a sense, a meaningless game against Washington on a Sunday. Yeah, they could have won that game and gotten one game over 500 or at 500. It's totally fine.
Does
That's great.
does
And
a win
August
over
and September will be meaningless as well when they're losing games like this. So it's
Correct.
good. It'll be huge that he's playing in September when we're
Correct.
13 and a half out of the wild card spot. And it's like,
Cor-
oh man, I
cor-
really wanted him to play today because
Correct.
I
Because then
it
once we get into
matters.
the off season, we're not questioning, well,
No, you're
can
still
Mike
gonna
Trout,
question it. You're
how
still
are you
gonna
going to
question
question
it
it?
because
You're
he's
going to
not playing
question if he's out.
defense.
Correct. Yeah. And if he plays more than half the games in July, August, and September, and he's able to play in the out, and
If
he's able to play in the outfield. Okay, exactly. We just played the if game with this lineup thing too. Like if he gets hurt, if he stays healthy, do they win this game? Are they back at 500? Like it's kind of a meaningless argument. This isn't like football. This isn't like basketball where like this one game means anything. I mean, like you've been great to get to
hold
500, a thousand
hold on,
percent,
hold on.
100%.
I take issue with this. Okay. It and I'll explain why. The way you're explaining here. It's a meaningless game. Well, all right. True or false? Does a win against Washington count as one win?
Correct. It does.
Okay. Does a win against Atlanta count as one win?
It does.
Does it is there any difference between one win and the other by the numbers?
Mike Trout's going to be in one of those games, and Mike Trout won't be in one of
But
those.
no. I'm talking just basic logic.
That's not what he
You're
asked.
on basic logic. Is there a difference between one win today and one win tomorrow against different teams, or is it just a win?
A win's a win.
Okay, so then how are you going to say it's a meaningless game?
Just wins. I mean, that's fine. Like, I'll take an L on this argument. I'm just saying, like, the
I don't
fact
think
that
it's
this argument
I'm
happened
not
is
saying
ridiculous.
that. I just it's a I don't think it's the ridiculous argument you're making it out to be. I think both sides have merit is my point. And there's some logical issues on both sides as well that you're pointing out. I'm just pointing out one back to you. The fact of the matter is though is we can say, hey, Mike Trout should have been out there. I agree with Nate. Mike Trout should have been out there. You got two off days in between. Let him DH. Fine. Don't play him defense, but his bat should have been in the lineup. But I can see where you're saying, hey, if they feel like they need to protect him, protect him. I don't think there's a right and wrong to the arguments while we have baseball debates, right? So we can drop that and let it be what it may, and look at the Braves because we're running out of time for this podcast. Tomorrow's show, tomorrow's game, first one, game one. Tyler Anderson 2-5 versus Didier Fuentes. I'm not sure if I said his first name right. Sorry. 2-5, 4.41 ERA for Anderson. Fuentes has a 0-2, 10.8 ERA. Game one going to Jared first. Call it win or loss.
Youngest pitcher in the majors, I think, is Fuentes. I could totally be wrong. I think he's the 19, 20-year-old. I'll take a win here. I don't know how or why, but I think they win.
Nate,
Probably because
L
Trout's in the lineup. That's why.
L Tyler Anderson.
Tyler Tyler Anderson in Atlanta, in hot Atlanta. Um, Angels tend to, for traditionally, have struggled against guys who are just fresh up in the year and the first guys
True.
we've seen. But I do like the pitching matchups for this series. for the Angels. If they're going to have a chance in the series, this is the kind of series they want. I will take Tyler Anderson to keep them in the lineup and keep them in the game. Atlanta's playing better, but they're not playing as well as they can be. If you're going to get Atlanta for a series win, now's your shot. I'm not saying they're going to win the series. I don't even want to make a prediction on this one, but this is their shot. Game two, very interesting pitching matchup. The Angels have Yusei Kikuchi at 3 and 6, 2.79 ERA versus Grant Holmes, 4 and 7, 3.70 ERA. Holmes has been pretty good of late, a strikeout pitcher against a team that strikes out a lot. Going to Nate first. Who you got?
Kikuchi.
Kikuchi.
Yep.
So the Angels get this one.
Yep.
Jared.
I'm going Grant Holmes. I don't think the offense is there.
So
Loss.
this is a tough game. Holmes is again the strikeouts favor him. Boy, boy, boy. I'm going with Grant Holmes in a close game. July 3rd, 7:15 start. Jose Soriano, 5 and 5, 3.99 ERA against Bryce Elder, 2 and 5, 5.82 ERA. Going to Jared first. What you got?
I like Soriano. I think the Angels are going to hit Elder around a little bit as well. I'll take the Angels in this one.
Nate.
Angels are going to take it too easy. Probably give some more off days this one. Elder wins. Elder wins.
Elder wins. Elder is a bad pitching matchup for the Angels. He's had one good strikeout game this year. He doesn't pitch. He doesn't throw hard. He's not the kind of guy who's going to fool them a whole lot either. If the Angels are going to win this series with Soriano pitching on the mound there, this is the chance to do it. I have the Angels taking the series 2 out of 3. This is their shot. And if they were having this series a month from now, might be completely different. But this is their shot. All right. We're getting ready to go, guys. One last question for each of you. Same question. Halfway now, just past the halfway mark. How are we feeling overall about the state of the Angels on the field? We know how you feel off the field. How do you feel on the field right now? Gonna go with Jared first.
Well, since they didn't start Mike Trout last week, it's real tough to watch them and everything like that. So, no, it's actually really good. I'm happy with where they're at right now. I think that I think it's funny. I brought this question up for this because I was scrolling through Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and just constantly see people complaining about like, oh, they've been so close to this 500 mark, blah blah blah, and like a lot of I think everybody was kind of writing the Angels off as a team that was going to lose 100 games. They still may lose 100 games for all we know. But the fact that we're sitting here June 30th, July 1st, whenever you watch this, and the Angels are sitting pretty damn close to 500, um, I think we're pretty happy. Christian Moore is up. We're seeing him contribute to the team. He's a positive WAR player. Nolan Schanuel's taking steps in the right direction. Zach Neto, though hurt right now, has been taking steps in the right direction. Reed Detmers looks really good in the bullpen. Like Jose Soriano looks like an all-star, regardless of the eight runs that he gave up in his last start. He looks pretty dang close to being an all-star. Yusei Kikuchi looks really freaking good right now as well. So I think when you look at this team and you look at the rest of the year, regardless if they make a push, you know I like what they're doing right now. It's very good. I'm pleasantly surprised with this team right now, even being remotely close to being 500, and the adversity that they've been able to push through. A couple injuries here and there. Not starting with Zach Neto, losing your manager. Trout was out for a month. Usually those are kind of death sentences for the Angels in the past, where it's like, oh, they're gonna crumble. And again, the fact that we're sitting here July 1st, June 30th, and they're sitting right around that 500 mark. I think a lot of fans should be a lot happier than being 10, 15 games under 500 where the Angels have been in past years. So, is it fantastic by any means? No. Like I'd rather see them 10 games over 500 competing for the AL West. But with what they're rolling out there and what a lot of people were saying about the Angels, being around this 500 mark right now, fantastic. Like I'm extremely excited. I'm excited to see what the second half brings. I'm excited to see, the draft is coming up. The All-Star game is coming up. The trade deadline's coming up. What are they going to do for that? I know we're going to talk about that whole bunch, but yeah, it'll be I'm happy. I'm pleasantly surprised, and fans should be too.
Nate.
Honestly, like it's been good to see some really young guys take some steps. Obviously, Ohapi's gone backwards, but Neto's been good. Shane Wolf's had a good year offensively, not a great year. I still would like to see the power, but he's done better with his average and things like that. Um, it's still frustrating, honestly. Like I know everyone's gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, but they're close to 500." They were close to 500 in 2023. We were in the same exact spot in 2023, actually a month from now. So we were real close to 500 in August. We went and bought, and obviously it was a disaster. And it kind of feels like we are going back and doing 2023 all over again, except for a month earlier. So the Angels are kind of in it. People are excited. We might buy at the deadline, and instead of buying at the deadline, the Angels will. It looks like they're going to collapse in July and face all these really good teams and struggle. So it's going to be similar. They're going to finish, right around the number that we had for them winning close to 68, 70 games. And it's whatever. The most frustrating thing to me is like the players that they're running out there right now. It's like you say you want to buy in a couple of weeks, you say you want to win, and yet you continue to run out there guys that should not be on the field. And I'm totally fine with you running out there young guys. Totally fine. Like if you're running Christian Moore out there and he's struggling, that's fine. Like you're developing. But some of these guys that they're running out there have no business being on the field. Absolutely no business. And you're going to sit here and tell us that, oh, we're going to buy because we're close. It's like you're not close. You're 4, 5, 6 guys away from winning. So it is a little frustrating because they are overperforming on the field, and it is fun to see. But when you really look at it, it's frustrating.
I don't think anybody here has any illusions of what's under the hood. They have an interesting looking car right now. It's got a little bit of flash to it, but we know what's under the hood. What's under the hood is a team that isn't there yet. And I think that's the difference between now and 2023. In 2023, there was much more optimism about that roster than there is now. We That's the difference for me. I'm excited more about this year than that year because that year I knew that was fool's gold. This year I know they're just gritty, and I know they're eventually going to fall off. Probably they're probably going to, especially if they sell. If they sell, you're not going to see them anywhere near anything in September. But from day one, where we actually say we're looking for this year, that was development on the field. We want to see them in games and we want to see them playing hard, and they are. So I'm not complaining. I'm not under the illusion that they're going to be an 85, 90 win team in September, but maybe they can be a 75 win team. Maybe. So, all right, guys and gals, follow us on X. Follow Jared at Jared_Tims. Follow Nate at NateGreen34. Follow me at DC Paul. Follow the entire staff at Talking Halos. And stay tuned. Pay attention to X and social media. We'll be back on playback sometime this week to stream another game. We're out of here. Have a great one.